So what can I do if the ex is hiding assets? For all you married people that are going through divorce proceedings and are dealing with the finances, you will be familiar with the Form E. Now, typically when Form Es are exchanged, people do one or all of three things. They tend to augment, diminish, or omit. And when you get the Form E or the other side's Form E and you look at it and you think, there's a whole bunch of stuff they've not included, in particular hiding assets, this is very, very common. And I say that because, hey, I'm an ex-debt collector and an ex-fraud investigator. So finding things was, way back before I did family law, was my jam. If it depends what assets they're hiding, by the way, and I've dealt with cases where people are hiding flats in Moscow, kid you not, to kilograms of 24 karat gold that have been hidden. I've seen it all. So depending on what kind of assets you're looking to find, most commonly people don't include things like bank accounts. Often, although I've seen it, properties are much more difficult to hide. But if you're dealing with perhaps international cases or there's property abroad, that can also be very difficult. The other thing that people typically tend to hide is relationships. More often than not, if you're in a new relationship, the new partner's income does tend to take into account because it has a direct impact on income and expenditure. So trying to find out what if that relationship at all is relevant to proceedings is often a common question, and some people try and hide that as well. So let me just give you the kind of lowdown on what you can do about that. First start, the court will timetable when you've got questionnaires. They'll timetable when you have to have a questionnaire in response to the Form E. So questionnaire is going to be your first thing. Ask them directly if you think they're hiding something or omitting or augmenting something. You just need to call it out. So the questionnaire is precisely for that, and you're probably going to get a questionnaire as well. So the court timetables that. You'll also, if they still don't disclose it on the questionnaire, then you might need to ask the court to order that they disclose A, B, and Z. There's also a huge amount of sleuthing that can be done. So there should be attached to the Form E at least 12 months statements. Now, I know what you're going to say. You might say, well, I need statements that go back even further than the 12 months they've put together in their Form E. Well, ask for it. Well, you will have a court hearing when you typically have somebody lodges the Form A for the financial proceedings. The court timetables to send out a massive court order, which is basically a glorified to-do list. Go through that to-do list. Go through their bank statements. A little bit of sleuthing goes a long way, and not necessarily the bank statements that you're presented with, because part of what you're going to need to show the court is if they are hiding it, and they're adamant on hiding this, and trust me, I've seen people really double down on what they're trying to hide, and you might need to, at a final hearing, present that as evidence and into cross-examination, then a little bit of sleuthing can go a long way. If they're in a relationship, people are useless, by the way. People are useless when it comes to social media. I could do a whole video on social media. I think I have. But social media, people are not as wise to it. And I don't care if you've got your privacy settings locked down. If it's on the internet, it's there. So if you're in a new relationship, watch out for the selfies. If they're in properties, is it on the market? If it's in, especially in this country, is it on Rightmove? Is it on Zoopla? A little bit of sleuthing goes a long way. And when you have a look at the bank statements, again, you will see the odd transaction that will absolutely highlight what they're trying to hide. You might need bank statement that goes back perhaps a little more than 12 months, but my point here is have it sleuthed. Sleuthed? Is that even a word? A bit of sleuthing goes a long way, and you might need to ask the court, ask them directly. And then finally, you might need to address this then in cross-examination at a final hearing. If somebody is really adamant on hiding and not admitting the truth, not admitting that they've got, I don't know, 6 pensions, not admitting that they happen to have gotten the flat in Poland that was actually trying to donate it to the art. I've seen all sorts of things, okay? And each and every individual case I can't possibly cover on a quick TikTok video, but I've seen a whole variety of weird tricks, people trying to do all sorts of funny business, people trying to squirrel money away, people hiding stuff under the mattress. Oh, I've seen it all. So let me know in the comments below, is this something that you're having to face with now? Are you the one that's trying to squirrel stuff away, or are you desperately trying to show the court that the ex has gotten loads of things that are hidden that you really need to take into account? It is important. Sometimes it's not always easy to try and find stuff. There are bits that, especially, I don't know, I could think of a whole myriad of stuff that is not obvious or easy to bring to the court's attention. Okay, especially when you're in a court environment, especially family court, when you're trying to base something on a balance of probability, and that's the burden of proof that we're working with. Some things aren't that easy to bring to the court's attention, but you have more power in your hands than you think you do. It's not just a case of going along, we do this, we fill this form in to sort out the finances, nor is it a case that you rock up with your Tesco carrier bag of life and get the court to sort it out. It's much more than that. And like I said, you have more power in your hands than you think. Drop your comments down below. I want to know, are you going through financial proceedings at the moment? Guys, I hope that's helped. Have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll check you later.